You could see a bit of mech, could see a bit of bio. You never know, you know? It could be anything.
True.
But I'm ready. I'm ready. Okay, ready? Ready?
Let's go!
Alright. Oh wait, no, you do Tavo. I don't... Oh no, wait, we're spawning the bottom left. Okay.
What?
Okay.
You're watching it on the camera.
Oh wait, which one are you?
I'm in the top right.
I think you're the fifth one. Are you going up? Okay.
Yeah.
Aquí en el Chima correcto. Jugando para Unidos por el Vicio Peruvian Terran Tavo. It's Tavo. There we go. Nailed it.
Do you know what you just said?
Oh no!
Instead of saying the top, no, instead of saying the top right, you said the top correct. Like right is incorrect. God damn it. Y aquí en la esquina inferior de la mapa, programador, hardwire E, tenemos el brasilero representando el equipo amantes de StarCraft. Es el rojo Zerg, es TheZergLord.
So I told you, like, if I did the ZergLord in the bottom left, I would have said Fondo Izquierda.
Oh, that would have been good.
Said
yeah.
Top right. Top correct. Thank you, Google Translate. Thank you to Arj Skater, who is a year old, subscribed for 12 months.
Yo, massive shout out to ARJ Skater in the chat. Thank you so much. 1 year. You've been with us. Less than three. Gracias, papi, gracias. As we are getting into this TVZ, and as a reminder, this is the ace match. We're tied up 1-1, and I am so excited. These two players are veterans. Or, I mean, I say they're veterans. They're two of the top players of the Latin American region, and they have been going back and forth recently in series in the online tournament scene, so it makes sense that we're here in the ace match.
Oh, indeedly do, lad. And we see it is a ZvT. We haven't had one of these in a while, but ZvT as a matchup in the whole matchup as whole, it is a very back and forth matchup. I should just stop that. So yeah, curious to see if these players are going back and forth in the same matchup. There's going to be a lot of tug of war, and I think one of the things you really want to watch when you've got some evenly rated players or evenly matched, the creep spread. Creep is so important in this matchup, and on a map like Hardwire as well, these two bases on the right and the left, the 9 o'clock and the 3 o'clock, in the later stages of the game, they become very important because they're what you're going to be trying to push and hold. And if Terran can hold it, they can kind of split the map, or if Zerg can hold it, they can force Terran into a bit of an awkward situation.
Oh, exactly. Oh, and that's definitely going to come into play later on in this game. And I also want to keep an eye on things because you were talking about, like, what could Tavo be doing? Well, Tavo, historically, he's one of the rare players that can go bio or he can go mech. He has practiced both of them. He's been working on both of them as well, working on certain builds. I was talking about it earlier. He did get some coaching from Special last year as well, so he has kind of been working as hard as he can. But mate, the ZergLord, he's pulling out a chase special. He's going for it.
Yeah, the chase special is pretty much any time you're trying to end the game before you get a third base. So it is indeed. Ling on a scout, going to come in, see, not too much craziness. Going to see the 2 Hellions pop. But yeah, good block off there by Tavo actually to prevent that scout. Meanwhile, we have just 2 Hellions and a Reaper just kind of chilling outside of the creep. We already see the ZergLord. He's going to scout this this Banshee, and you see the timing on this, what's it called, the Overlord Scout. It means he would see if the starport unit would pop if it didn't have an add-on. But in this case, he also sees, he's actually going to leave the Overlord alive. He's going to see it's click Banshee. So very well-timed scout there.
Yes.
And third CC on the way too late.
Exactly. It was a third CC before Starport opener, so a very economic one. But again, just because you're economic doesn't mean you can't be aggressive, as we already have the first Banshee out, second one is on the way. But because the ZergLord was able to scout, there we go. Spores are already being thrown down, so the Banshees aren't really going to deal too much economic damage, or at least they shouldn't. But at least they will give him some map presence, and they can, you know, they can do a decent amount of damage, even defensively, against a mainly roach-based army.
Sí. Mira light. El está haciendo Loch Cucarachella.
Well, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying when I said he's doing a chase special. Like, oh, he's gonna end the game early. Like, no, he's going roaches, mate. He's going roaches.
I thought that was a Badeness for some reason. Also, buildings look the same when they're building.
God damn it.
Cucarachella. I love Cucarachellas.
La cucaracha, mate. Let's
meanwhile,
go.
Tavo is just going balls to the wall, man. He's getting his double engineering base down. He's got the third base landed already. And I think, honestly, if the ZergLord goes for a max out, 66 drone timing of 1-1, he could do a lot of damage, but it's got to revolve around how much damage his Banshees can do first.
Exactly. The two Banshees are about to rock up. Even if there's detection, even if there are spores, two Banshees do one-shot workers regardless. So just like that, almost 5 drones go down. At the same time, can they escape? Up!
Oh, yeah, one Banshee even taking away. Not the greatest, but it's not the end of the world. But the problem is when you're opening so economic with this 3cc opener, you need these Banshees to get a bit more damage done, because on the ground against a player as good as the ZergLord, it's quite hard to get damage done with these Hellions. And I feel like, we see now like a lot of roaches in the production tab. We're going to have a 1-1 timing on the way very soon.
Oh, that we are. All those upgrades are on the way. At the same time, Tavo actually dives in. Oh, a little bit overextends, and he gets 1 drone for his troubles.
Yeah, not great. I'm not sure. I feel like he could have just dived in and got as much damage straight out, but it's always good to keep units alive, especially when you know a big timing's coming, even if they're not useful units. But we see the 4th base now is almost about to finish for the ZergLord, and I think like we're definitely going to see some sort of timing come through. And if you look at the supply, it's just going to start going crazy for our Zerg player. Yeah.
As you were saying, like the ZergLord, now is the time to make nothing but roaches. He has finished droning up. He's stopping here at 67 drones, about to be 66, as he's going to make a spore. And here we go. The roaches are on the way. What do we have at home to defend? We're going to have 1 Banshee. We do have a full wall off here. Not bad. And we don't have any Ravagers yet. So Tavo is set up, but he doesn't see the army coming. No, and at least until it moves into the sensor tower range.
Yeah, that's right. It's a pretty decent kind of situation that we've got popped up here with this wall, and there's 3 tanks. One's a bit far back, but here we go. The roach is coming in the wall right. It looks like Tavo is expecting 3 bunkers built. Just doesn't have enough units to hold it.
Yeah, exactly. The wall was not a wall. The roaches are slipping on through. The tanks, though, are beautifully positioned. Despite that, damage is still being done. Workers are getting picked off left and right, and at the same time, we have a double jump in the main of the ZergLord.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, this is actually really risky. Tavo moving out like such, and these roaches, if they get on top of that tank, they're just gonna scrambling at the moment, throwing biles down. And even though Tavo is gonna hold at home, it depends on how much damage this drop does, but the reinforcing roaches are gonna clean this up.
Exactly. This drop does nothing. It got like 1 drone. It got the injecting queen in the main base, and that is it. There are just too many roaches at home to defend. So Tavo is deflected, and he was able to get a decent amount of damage done. He got, what, 9 SCV kills. The CC is on fire. It's not even landed yet. It still has to be landed. He's not done.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm not sure about this push now. I'd rather him wait for the reinforcements to kind of show up, but as you see, getting in one of those bunkers, not bad. This Banshee's just gonna pick away as well, but I'm not sure if the ZergLord can get a push in here, even with the concave he's got with the 2 bunkers. Like,
yeah, you could argue that, I mean, he can afford to trade anyway. Like, he's got a decent worker count. He's still making nothing but roaches. He's still just trying to snowball and overwhelm Tavo, and over time he's doing so. I mean, the tank count is getting a little bit higher, so maybe as time goes on Tavo can hold, but there's still just so many roaches.
yeah, and this is a moment he's coming in. He's got a good concave. These bunkers not going to finish up. There's a tank on the high ground, but as you said, it's kind of a numbers game at this point. With the, he's just trading. He's still got all these Ravagers alive as well, and Tavo is forced to hold this position with the 4th base that ZergLord has. He has to You know, he can't afford to lift up to his natural again. We see that the double drop unloading on the bottom of the map, but the problem is, I don't think he's got enough units to hold here at the natural ramp.
Yeah, exactly. Both engineering bays are taken down. 2-2 is denied. Tavo is mining off of this lower base, and again, that tank count, he's still working on it. He's still trying desperately to hold on. The drop finally does hit, and actually, he may be able to get a little bit of economic damage done here, but the reinforcements, they may just be too much anyway.
Yeah, especially with getting that plus to attack denied. Yeah. Really. There's only +1 on these queens. He might snipe one, maybe even a second, which is really good, but he's not going to get too much damage done if Roaches rock up to defend. And we see ZergLord feels comfortable. He's just morphing Ravages right outside the natural light, and I think 3 tanks could maybe hold this, honestly.
Maybe a medevac does get sniped out of the sky. Like, the ZergLord is still continuing to get damage done. I'm surprised finally he does send up a couple of Roaches towards that third base, finally to deny the mining there, and now he's trying to collapse into the natural base, files down one of the tanks, and may even try and get the next. The high ground tanks still stand strong. Jesus Christ. They even cleaned up
one of those tanks was kind of one of the tanks was distracted shooting the Roaches at the unnatural, but we see I think did he shoot his own tank? But, I think that at this point the main thing is, like, the upgrades got cancelled, which means Tavo, he doesn't have that at the time with him anymore, right? Because his upgrades are so far away, and ZergLord, he's just going to push in again, but with 3 tanks as well, he's going to just split his Roaches up, otherwise he's going to take too much damage.
There's 2 Marines!
There's
2 Marines holding the line, let's go! They get taken out! The tank on the low ground gets taken out as well. There's just not enough buffer here. The Roach Ravager is going to be able to break through into the main base, or is it? It looks like he just barely will.
Yeah, didn't realize that Tavo's actually moved out to this 4th base here, and he's done quite a bit of damage if you look at the supply line. And I think that if he can hold these Ravages in the main, but there's no tanks.
Exactly, it's just man with gun, and man with gun is good, but is it that good? The drop across the map is still dealing a lot of damage. 2-2 is on the way, by the way. It was, the engineering base were rebuilt, but his main has been broken. Like, can he hold?
I think he may be able to actually, like, even though he doesn't have +2, a couple more tanks popping, and it looks like even though one's going to get biled down, he's going to hold back these units. And meanwhile, all 3 bases are mining for our Terran player.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I was going to bring this up earlier. I was so surprised that the ZergLord was tunnel visioning so much here at the natural, and he was allowing this third base to mine for so long. Despite Tavo being trapped in his natural base and in his main, the ZergLord never really went and committed anything to the third, and because of that, Tavo has been taking advantage of this and having a much better economy than he otherwise should have.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. I feel like when you do this kind of mass economy, huge, like Roach Rav low tech push, you want to, like, strangle out your opponent. You want to just keep on the back foot. But he just kind of thought, I guess he thought he could end the game, or he just didn't want to risk jumping on the third base. But we saw there was actually, you know, the medevacs were preoccupied. He couldn't really pull up their CVs to save them in the main. And as a result, now we see Tavo's supply. It's only 20 behind the Roach player. Yeah,
exactly. The tank positioning is absolutely insane. Bunkers were thrown up, and that's going to buy a lot of time here for the rest of the army to reposition. Oh my god, the bunkers don't even go down. And at the same time, Tavo. 2-2 is done. 3-3 is on the way, and we have another double drop across the map at the 4th.
Yeah, and keep in mind, I'm not sure if these Roaches, they have the +2 attack, but only a +1 armor, so this upgrade advantage is going to be really helpful. And I will tell you, like, I wasn't too sure about Tavo when he left 2 Marines at home to defend the big Roach Rav attack. It's worked out for him, and he's actually taking a commanding position in this game number 2.
He's making the comeback happen. The comeback is real right now here for Tavo. He survived long enough, and the ZergLord, there was no plan B. Like, he has not been droning up at all. He's been losing workers left and right. Finally, here we go, a push at the third base. Finally, again, tanks are not in position at all, so he's going to be able to abuse this and deal damage. But is it too little, too late?
Yeah, no, this is really good for the ZergLord, but we see this Marine drop coming into the 4th base, and you need a decent amount of Roaches back at home to defend. Bia's just so destructive, and he's going to force the lift off on this 3rd base slot. But if you look at the production tab, he's down to 44 workers, and he's just not sure what to make.
He's not doing anything right now. He's stuck. He's stunned. He's starstruck right now. He's like, oh my god, have I just thrown it away? Oh wait, the SCVs! Oh my god.
But it looks like, yeah, he wants to go the economic route. He's going Infestation Pit and getting his carapace. And this is really good from the ZergLord, denying the mining here, but Tavo is getting a 4th base in the top left, and actually it's actually finished.
Mate, and you know
Wait.
I'm afraid of that 4th base. I'm also terrified of 3-3, mate. 3-3 is about to finish up for Tavo. The drops are still out here dealing damage. And Roach Ravager, you know it as well as anyone. It just doesn't scale into late game. Like, after a certain point, Chase just doesn't win games.
What? Aquí en el Chima Izquierda. Roach Ravager. Cucharella denies the base.
What do you say?
Yeah, you probably thought when I said 3 tanks can hold this push. Trust me, lad, I've had 3 tanks hold my pushes game after game, so I was not that surprised. But just look at this spread from Tavo, man, it's insane, and it's so many tanks. And the problem is, in the economic position the ZergLord's in, he can't afford to kind of do a gotcha transition. He has to in the face. But looking at the worker count from Tavo, it's quite low, so both players stuck at the moment.
Oh no!
And
he's
gonna lose his worker!
Tavo, despite you doing so well and despite your tank count looking so good, he loses 11 more SCVs. He is down to 18 workers. Oh my god.
Yeah, like,
that's the wrong country, but sure.
He's got 3 CCs and then command center, but he's got changelings as well. But I'm not sure what happens in this game. Obviously, Tavo's got such a strong looking army, but these tanks are so awkward
the double
to push
drop.
out. He's not getting tanks he has.
Yeah, at the same time, we have a drop here at the 4th base. 9 drones go down. At the same time, double drop into the main. Going to be able to take out some of these gases. Could even take out the tech as well. Hydrogen just finished up. The ZergLord wants to get into lurkers, but if he loses the hydrogen, they just can't make anything. He wants it.
Mamma mia.
He wants it.
I'm glad you're paying attention. I did not notice. 2 drops. Just gonna clean up the hydrogen, but the lurkers, the lunkers. I think that what the ZergLord means, he needs Vipers, right?
Yeah. Oh, he's listening to the stream 2 minutes in the future. 3 Vipers are on the way.
But we see this is ZergLord. He needs to keep his army directly outside of this ball and force these sieges up. He needs to buy time because Tavo scouted, but there was a hive and there's a infestation pit. Obviously, because it's a hive. But
yeah.
But, you know, so he knows that he's on a timer now before those hive units kick in.
Mate, there's a world where this drop kills the Vipers. Oh, he's going for... Oh! At the same time, the tank army is pushing out. He's caught on siege. So the Biles are going to get one of these tanks as he tries to push out across the map. The drop at the same time is going to get some workers. Does scout, does confirm the lurker dead. And Tavo's not stopping, but the lurkers are done.
Yeah, this is such an awkward kind of position for Tavo because he's got a lot of tanks and he's got a lot of marines, but you never want to be forced on a timer versus lurkers, you know. And I feel like the ZergLord might just barely hold. But looking at the economy of both players, like, and neither of them are making drones at the moment, all SCVs.
Yeah, only SCVs.
He hasn't even won. Tavo hasn't dropped the 4th either.
He hasn't even dropped it yet. It's still up in the air. But at the same time, here we finally have an engagement. We do have a yoink on one of those tanks. But look how many tanks there are. It's crazy. It's insane. Sure, we have a yoink here and there, but there's still so many more tanks where that came from.
Oh yeah, there's not enough yoinks for all the tanks. We see these lurkers being pushed back, and the thing is, if ZergLord loses his 4th base, even though Tavo hasn't dropped his own 4th, I think that he could lose this game. Like, but it's crazy at the moment. This is the big volley that's going to do the damage. And like, these lurkers are under the head.
Exactly, the lurkers. I mean, range is done for these lurkers. Adaptive talents, not yet. But again, they're really the lifeblood of the ZergLord. Meanwhile, this hatchery's getting lower and lower because he's sucking on it, and it's being shelled away by the tanks. And it looks like the base is going to go down.
Yeah, just look at this spread light. He's got a huge concave, and he gets yoinked in to help finish off the tanks. And I think the ZergLord, even though the supply is not telling the tale, and he's got lurkers, he's just got no economy now. He's mining off like 1 base.
He's long distance mining right now from this non-existent 4th base. The tanks are just slowly leapfrogging forward. The Roach Ravager just trying desperately, and he does pick off another tank. The Marines are getting picked off a little bit here. There's only a handful of Marines left that try desperately to focus down the lurkers, but they're getting lurkers. There's only 2 lurkers left.
Yeah, there's only 2 lunkers, and the lunkers have nowhere to run. The tanks have cut off the path of retreat, and we see like Tavo has dropped his 4th base as well. He's gonna take the game. GG.
GG, well played, Tavo. He comes back from the brink of death. He was dead, mate. He was losing workers left and right. He was losing his tanks. Everything was on fire. And then he snuck out that third base, and the ZergLord let him have it. He let him take it. The ZergLord, he like the blinders were on. He was just too hyper focused on the natural and the main. He just couldn't see.
Yeah, it's like he just wanted to kill. We saw the angle he came from. He pushed in the, there was bunkers on the high ground, and there was a couple tanks that were further back from the third base. So,
Yeah.
I would have expected the ZergLord, as you said, to take out cut off the third base, cut off the economy, right? But he just tried to end the game. He tried to push into that entrenched tank position in the main, and Tavo just managed to hold on, even sneak a dropout while this was going on too, and he won the game. So incredible scenes here.
Incredible. I want to bring it back to a moment that happened as well, where I think I agree with you, when he went for a double drop towards the bottom right and he left 2 Marines to defend his tanks. 2 Marines, that's it. And I was like, mate, really? Is this gonna work? And it did. Like 2 Marines. To be fair, reinforcements did come out behind that, right? The production was kicking in, but like Tavo, I think what I'm trying to say is that he was taking so many risks. He was taking so many risks this game, but he knew that he had to because of how desperate the situation was. He just kept going for drops whenever he could, even when he didn't have enough at home to defend, hoping that the ZergLord would just give him a little bit more time, wouldn't punish him, and GG.
Yeah, he knew that the ZergLord had a 4th base as well. He couldn't afford just to sit on 2 bases and just soak up the damage, because roaches, they don't scale the greatest into the late game, but if you can't max out and you're stuck on 2 base economy, you're not going to scale very well either. So fantastic play by Tavo to identify the situation he was in and to just kind of defend with the absolute bare minimum. Even then I'd say it was less than the bare minimum, but I feel like the ZergLord, if he split his roaches up a little bit better, he might have taken the game. But as you said, tunnel vision, I've got overwhelming forces, I just need to end the game.
Exactly.
And it didn't work out for him.
It didn't. It did not. That's, for me, it's a bit of a feels bad, man, for the ZergLord, because again, he was in such a commanding position, and it hurts whenever you lose a game like that, right? It hurts when you know that you're ahead, when you know you're dealing damage, you know that you're poised to win, and then it just slips away through your fingers. It's a bit of a feels bad, man.
It happens every game, like every game when I go roach.
Oh god, it's a bit of a feels bad, man, for the ZergLord, but at the same time, mate, the tenacity of Tavo, he did not give up. He was so tenacious, and what a beautiful game there from Tavo. It's a shame that we didn't get to cast game 2 and game 1, but here in game 3, I feel privileged that we were able to be a part of what we just saw. Clearly, T-Imba.
We're very clearly, yeah.
Yeah.
And just the fact that that was the ace match as well. We didn't have as much of the vibe as it, because we didn't cast the rest of the series. But for that to be an ace match as well, both players were going really at it. So, well done. And obviously the ZergLord, very strong player, been around a long time. He'll bounce back easily. He's had a lot of experience in these situations, and I think Tavo, though, he's gonna really take that momentum into the semi-finals where he plays yet another Zerg player.
Well, he's gonna need it, mate. He's gonna need it, because Eggs is the final boss. Eggs is the clear favorite player out of everyone in this tournament today. We were talking about it. There is like a bit of a hierarchy in Latin America, and Eggs is at the top of it at the moment, at least when it comes to the players here, Ryu. But Eggs is amazing, and Tavo needs to be on point, and we can even see it here in the chat. He's asking, "Espera un minuto." He's like, "Give me a moment to breathe." Tavo's like, "I need." He was about to die, mate. So he needs a moment to breathe. Understandable. He needs to relax, needs to shake it off, and get ready for that next series.
He said, "Wait. Esperen, necesito un respiro." I need a breathe.
Yeah,
I need to breathe.
I need to breathe.
Like, I'm so good at Spanish, man.
Beautiful. It's like respirator, like breathe, respiro.
Yeah, it's actually, it's Latin. They all come from the same language.
It's true. It's true.
If Latin is such a good language, why is it dead now? It's got so many fanboy languages.
You said it. You say it's dead, but really, it lives on in all of us. Okay, it lives on.
But, I guess it does. Actually, that's spiritually very wise, Light. I didn't expect that.
Well, what do you mean?
Spiritually wise words from you.
Shaking my head. As we get into our next series, I do want to give a bit of a shout out because it happened in the midst of all of this. It's a little bit bittersweet, but shout out to Eximius TV for the raid as well. Thank you so much for the raid. And my condolences to you as well, because Eximius TV, they are kind of a team, a StarCraft 2 team, Brazilian StarCraft 2 team. So I know a lot of them were cheering for the ZergLord. The ZergLord's run ends here, and I believe all Brazilian players have been knocked out of the tournament. Oh boy, as the ZergLord is the only representative. Ooh. Still plenty of other nations.
Yeah. Actually, there's a lot of diversity in the Latin American scene, actually. Colombia, Peru, Chile, Brazil. Not sure, is there any Argentinian players have signed up? I'm not sure if there is.
Not in this tournament, but there are some out there. Can confirm. Out there.
Some Messies. Messies of StarCraft.
Exactly.
But yeah, it looks like we're just waiting on Ryogen vs Crown, which is our final round 2 match before we go into the semi-finals. And the winner of that will play Smile, and then we have Eggs vs Tavo in the other semi-final.
Yes, I believe we are going to cast Eggs vs Tavo first. Just as soon as they're ready. Again, you know, Tavo is taking a bit of a breather. I don't blame him at all for that. So take as much time as you need, buddy. As much time as you need.